How's it going, everyone? In this video, I'm going to be talking about how to check and replace your upper control arm on your mid to late 2000s Honda Accord or Acura TL or any similar type of Honda. These control arms commonly go bad. You should probably check them every month as like a preventive maintenance thing because it's a safety issue. If you hear some clunking while driving or if they have any play, you should replace them. It's not too bad. You can see I'm doing this on the ground. You can get it done within an hour. So let's get right to it. This is the ball joint that goes bad. How to check it is when the wheel is on the car. The control arm sits right there. You can see the new one's kind of in place right now. You just grab the top of the wheel and push in and out. That joint should not have any play. If you see any type of play or any type of clunking, the joint is bad. Get it replaced ASAP. It's not expensive. I think this was like 30, 35 bucks off eBay. It was a Detroit Axle one, which is not a bad brand. And this is how to replace it. First thing you want to do is you want to come up on top over here. There are two 12s right over here on the little strut bar brace thing, and then three 14s holding the strut in place. All five have to come off. Then you want to come down here, and what you want to do is the bolt for the ball joint is a 17 millimeter. You're going to have a little cotter pin you take off with some pliers or some side cutters. Then I take my impact with the swivel 17, put it on there, and I zap it right off. All right. Once it's zapped off, the ball joint will probably still be stuck into the knuckle. So what you want to do is take a hammer and don't hit on the stud. Even though you're replacing this, you don't want to damage that stud or mushroom it out. You're always better off hitting on the knuckle itself. This goes for any ball joint, tie rod ball joints on any type of car. It's a good trick to know. You can see when I was contacting this and just smack it with the hammer. What that's going to do is going to cause impact vibrations, and it's going to kind of cause that ball joint to pop out. Keep on hitting it until you see it pop out and separate just like this. Zoom out so you can kind of see it. Once that's done, you've got a 10 millimeter right over here holding the speed sensor line. And then you have a 10 millimeter on top of the control arm, also holding that speed sensor line that was attached to this stud right over there. And then I took off the two 10s, the 10s or 12s that are holding this brake line bracket in place. So the knuckle has movement to get out. So actually you probably want to remove those bolts before you pop the ball joint off, but I'm kind of going out of sequence. But yeah, you get the concept. Once that's done, you're gonna grab a helper or grab yourself. You want to push down on this as much as possible while pulling back on the shock. The reason we want to pull back on the shock is so we have room on top to access the 14 millimeter through bolts. You can see I already took them off and I got the new arm in place, obviously, but any ratcheting wrench or just a ratchet with a deep socket. Where is it? There you go. I use this one to get the inside one like that, so I have room to get it out. And then I use the ratchet wrench on that one. Once those through bolts come out, I think I have one out here still. Let me see if I can find it. Sorry, I'm just making this video real quick. That might be in there as well. No, it's not. It's somewhere here. Anyways, once they're out, the control arm is just going to literally slide out this way. And this is what you get left with. So it's pretty straightforward. This car was not too bad. It wasn't too rusty. And I'm pretty much getting this job done in under an hour, start to finish. So $30 part, 1 hour of your time. It's totally worth doing. Sorry I didn't do a step-by-step. Maybe the next control arm I'll do a step-by-step. But I want to give you the overview so you can be comfortable working on this car yourself. Now what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be putting the through bolts back in. I'm gonna be tightening them up. When you tighten these through bolts up, you wanna make sure that this kind of stays up and level, because the bushings, even though they should rotate, you don't wanna put too much pressure on them so the bushings don't wear out fast. And once those are tightened, then you reverse the procedures. I'm gonna put the knuckle back up to the ball joint. I'm gonna zap that back on. Don't know the torque specs, to be honest, but if you look up the torque specs and torque them down, it's always better. I usually just zap it and I feel it out. Don't put too much pressure because you don't want to snap the stud on the new ball joint. Just kind of feel it out. And if you can't feel it out, use the impact until you get hand tight with it, and then use a torque wrench to torque it down. And then you just put everything back in, right? The strut goes back into place. Actually, the strut can go back into place once the through bolts are in. Come up here, torque all 5 of those down. Then put your speed sensor line, brake line back on, the wheel goes back on. So I hope this video helps you. If you have any comments, questions, put it down in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to see more videos. Peace.